Hello, everybody, and welcome to another rendition of Delete Laws. How are you doing today, everybody? Do me a favor, put in the comment section OTVO, which stands for Overturn Terry versus Ohio. And then if you would, please hit the like button. It's a little thumbs up button right down there. If you would, just take a second. Give me a 5x5 if you guys can hear me okay. I don't know how well you guys can. I don't think that the system that I use is the best one for presenting videos. I'm going to be changing that, but I've been busy finishing Constitution headquarters. It will be done before April, so I'm looking forward to getting that out to you guys. Who is in the room? Greg B is here. Rob Gunn is here. What is going on? I'm going to show a couple things today, but I first wanted you guys to take a look at this cops video, and we're gonna go over this cops video. Let me just get everything turned on here properly, and then we're gonna take a look at this coppers video. And the cop is completely and utterly delusional. I haven't seen somebody so deluded and so completely out of touch as I have before in this cop. And so when I saw the video, I thought to myself, man, I absolutely have to show Team DLZ. Raise this bad chicken up a little bit. There we go. That way I can look at you guys eye to eye here. There we go. That's a little bit better. What's going on? Sevenfold. Steve Conkler, Warren, Team DLZ. What is going on? Did everybody hit the like button? What is going on? Brandy is here. How you doing, Brandy? Nice to see you. So this cop right here, I covered one of this copper's videos. But before I do that, I want to show you guys just something else real fast here. So if you guys can see that, what that says is it's a series of videos of excessive force from remember the East Cleveland Police Department? Do you guys remember that? So this is the Columbus Police Department, but what they do is, and so Columbus Police excessive force, I'm just going to put that in to the search bar here, and you're going to see that not just that, but it's across the entire spectrum of police videos and police interactions out of Ohio. Here's what a Department of Justice review of Columbus police use of force found. So what you're seeing here is that the Columbus Police Department, nice to see you, Russian plant. Thanks for coming by. Chili with no beans, says EA 1986. James Chamberlain, what is going on? Can you guys see me okay? I hope that the video is coming all right. How is the video? Is the video stream okay? Can you guys see me? Utah Defender is in the room, everybody. This man is an activist. He is a veteran. He's a paratrooper. Derek Hates Pigs is here. What is going on? So I want you guys to see that the Department of Justice, which does absolutely nothing when it comes to police violence, you'll see yourself. It's just crap. So let me put it like this. Columbus Police Department uses excessive force. And that's just what I'm putting into. Columbus to pay $1.8 million to ex-ATF agent who got tasered. Columbus Police Internal Affairs Federal issues a second report on Columbus. Case of U.S. versus City of Columbus, Ohio. Columbus police settlements are common and costly by Axios. Columbus Police Division Directive 1. DOJ analyzes Columbus police use of force. Columbus police misconduct lawyer. There are just so many cases of police misconduct that, and it's not misconduct. Let me, I'm gonna pop this guy's video on here so you can see his face and pause this bad chicken right here. But here's what this copper looks like. And it says right here, if you take a look, I've been fired because of this YouTube channel. And this guy's channel is called Columbus Police Body Cam, or Columbus Police, body camera. And so, of course, I gave it a thumbs down because this is garbage. And then I left several comments, but I want you guys to see the video so you can see exactly how deluded and completely and utterly deranged the police in this country are. And I actually, just so you know, just here's a spoiler. The game itself, all of the pieces of the game, Constitution headquarters, are done today. And then I'll send that off to the guy who does the branding of the game. We start to print the cards next week. I cannot wait. I've been working on this and I'm going to get it done. I finished today though. So what is going on. And so Harry said, "This is my hometown. They paid out some pretty big suits lately." So this guy is a cop from Columbus, Ohio. He's had a YouTube channel for 4 or 5 years. Let's get into what he says here. And
This video is one that I never thought I was going to have to make. This video is my announcement to you that I have officially been terminated from my position at the Columbus Division of Police. I was fired from my job as a police officer because of this YouTube channel. We'll go into a little bit more detail about what I was fired for here in a little bit, but I just want to say it's not something that people get fired for, and I'm 100% positive I will get my job back. The problem with that is it's going to take approximately 9 to 12 months for that process to play out, and in the meantime, I need some help. I need help paying my mortgage and putting food on the table for my wife and my 2 daughters.
why is that? Because in 9 to 12 months, when he does get his job back, which he will get his job back, he doesn't have any other skills. He can't do anything else. He can make YouTube videos. He can make YouTube videos. I call him a propagandist, and he is a propagandist. He sits and lies and shows the rosy side of the cops. But the truth is that 90% of what the cops do is trash. Absolute, outright, complete trash. But we're seeing here that he doesn't have another skill set. He can make YouTube, he can cover and cop suck videos, but that's his skill set.
Ages 11 and 13. Hopefully, this channel that ended up getting me fired from my job is also going to be the thing that helps me provide for them while I fight to get my job back. As of today, I have monetized the YouTube channel and I've opened it up for channel memberships with some benefits I'll go over here in a little bit, as well as I'm linking my personal PayPal account in the description of this video and all future videos. And I'm going to ask that you help me pay my bills.
And take a look. Take a look. So I'll get to my comments in a minute. 20, 200, 50, 200, 10, 5. The super chats go on and on and on 50, 20. It's preposterous.
I think it's also important in this video to kind of talk about how we got here, because this has been a long road. I've been running this channel for 5 years. I started it in the summer of 2020. Everybody should remember what was going on in the summer of 20. That was known as the Summer of Love. That's when the George Floyd protests took over every major city in America, including the city of Columbus. And a lot of the politicians in the city of Columbus used that or began using that as an opportunity to take over control of the police department. And one of the ways they were taking control of the police department is by spreading a lot of false information about the officers, saying that they were bad, they were corrupt, they were racist, and they were using that to garner support for their position, to say that the police department needed drastic reform, and that way they could seize control of the police department. Because
Well, let me inform you something. So George Floyd isn't some amazing role model that everybody likes and respects, as he was doing drugs and doing porn and robbing and stealing. He wasn't a good guy. The reason why America went to a crescendo is because it's happened to all of us. We've all been abused by police. Put a one in the chat if you've been abused by police, or someone that you love has been abused by police. Put a one in the comments for me, if you would, please. If you have experienced abuse, or someone that you know and love has experienced abuse by police, put a one in the comment section. And there was a crescendo of that, where Americans are sick of being bullied, beaten, imprisoned, literally raped with the amount of money that were charged by the police on bullshit, stupid stuff like getting a DUI when you're not driving a car, things like that. And so it wasn't for George Floyd necessarily. People do what they do often for themselves. And this is Hobbes' theory on the nature of man. And so people do what they do because of what police have done to them. The idea that we were all just protesting because of George Floyd is a false narrative.
This police reform movement that started in 2020 has never been about reform. It's always been about control, because the politicians want to control the police department, because if you can control the police department, you can control the population.
But you can't control yourselves. So there's that.
One of the things that happened that summer, there's two major things that happened that caused me to start this YouTube channel. One of the things that happened was that the city of Columbus, the mayor's office itself, actually took over all the social media accounts for the Columbus Division of Police. They were not allowing the people in the public information office, the sergeants, the supervisors, anybody to post anything on the division's social media that would defend the officers from a lot of these false accusations that were going out.
I don't think so, buddy. I don't think so. It's not false accusations when there's so many of us who have been cheated and arrested and charged by police. So, Dennis, that is a complete bullshit, right wing authoritarian talking point. George Floyd was definitely doing drugs. But had he not had someone kneel down on his neck for over 8 minutes, he would have went through that drug process and tomorrow he would have been fine. But the fact that Derek Chauvin had a previous relationship with him and wanted to torture him and had a history of dropping his knees on people and then sitting on top of them, he did not die of a drug overdose. That's what you were fed. That's what you ate up as propaganda. I'm sorry, dude. That's what you ate up. The medical examiner, often referred to as the ME, works day in and day out with cops. George Floyd died because someone put their knees into his neck for over 8 minutes. That's why he died. He would have lived through his usage of drugs on that day. Where was that fake $20 bill? He passed a funny $20 bill. Where is it? Where's the one piece of evidence? But I don't want to get too far off base from the cop and the lying that he's doing here.
We'd heard the rumors about this, but I didn't know it for sure until one night. I was working down on 19 Precinct in the Hilltop, and right at 11 o'clock during roll call, a shooting went out at what turned out to be a drug house. We heard the
What turned out to be a drug house, according to the police.
alert tone go out. We all ran to our cruisers. We didn't have time to grab our equipment. We drove lights and sirens to the shooting, and when we arrived on scene, there was a man laying in the alley with a bullet wound in his chest. This was a robbery attempt at a drug house.
There's the narrative. This was a robbery attempt at a drug house. That's the whole narrative.
Officers on scene used to be a firefighter paramedic. He ran to the vehicle, used the standard first aid kit that was in the vehicle, and was able to put a chest seal on this man. And it probably took paramedics 5 minutes or longer to arrive on scene. And when they did, the battalion chief went to my supervisor, said, "Hey, your guys did an amazing job applying that chest seal to this man. You 100% saved his life. If your officers didn't do that, this man would have died." So
Did you do that to him when he was torture cuffed up? Did you have his arms behind his back as you put a chest seal on him? And listen, if you save someone's life, that's great. Was he in torture cuffs as you put the chest seal on him, though? Just wondering.
my supervisor said, "Thank you, sir." And then at the end of the night, before he went home, he sent an email up the chain of command, said, "Hey, we had an excellent interaction with the citizens last night." This was in probably late June of 2020 when the riots were still in full force. And he said, "I know that the police department needs some positive promotion or some good news, showing some good things that police officers are doing in the community. I think this would be a fantastic example. Let's put this on YouTube and Facebook and everywhere else so that the citizens can see the lengths that the officers are going to save members of their community."
Okay, so that's propaganda. Everything he just said right there is propaganda. That's a fact. That's propaganda. The police are not doing everything they can to save citizens' lives. The police are the problem most of the time. The police are the problem. The policies, procedures, and protocols are the problem. The way you treat people is the problem. The way you talk to people, "I'm going to shoot you in the fucking head. You move your fucking hands." That is the problem. That's the problem. The way the police treat citizens is the fact that they're allowed to lie to us to try to get information out of us, the fact that they're allowed to detain us in torture cuffs and then keep asking questions. Well, where are you going? Where are you heading? It's propaganda. Everything he just said is propaganda.
And when he sent that request up, it was denied per the mayor's office, because the mayor's office during that time didn't want anybody promoting anything that would make the officers of the Columbus Police Department look like they were compassionate, caring, and professional officers. One of the other things that happened during that time was that the person who was running a lot of the social media accounts was actually being pushed out. The reason she was being pushed out was
because she's a propagandist, like this cop.
As and this is the quote that I heard, she was sharing too much pro-police propaganda on the division's social media.
She was pushed out because she was showing too much pro-police propaganda.
And this is the quote that I heard. She was sharing too much pro-police propaganda on the division's social media.
That's that.
You hire somebody to run your social media accounts to make you look good, and then you force them out because they're doing too much stuff to make you look good. That is the environment that we were in when I started this YouTube channel. So I said, hey, you know what? When I'm off duty, I'm a private citizen. Any private citizen can make a records request, and there's nothing stopping the division of police, the city, or the mayor from putting that information up online. So I started the YouTube channel.
Okay, so now hold on. Let me break this down for you and then show you what I said.
When I'm off YouTube channels, force them out because they're doing too much stuff to make you look good. That is the environment that we were in when I started this YouTube channel. So,
okay, now listen to this right here.
So I said, hey, you know what? When I'm off duty, I'm a private citizen.
Oh, I agree with that.
Any private citizen can make a records request, and
can make a records request, like Midwest Safety. He can make a records request for certain body camera footage.
There's nothing stopping the division of police, the city, or the mayor from putting that information up online.
So he makes a record request, okay? And it says, and then I wrote down here to him, I don't know where my comment is. My comment has somehow disappeared. I don't know where it is in this smorgasbord of comments. I don't know where it is. It's in here somewhere because I've left several comments. I'm trying to find the exact comment I left. Okay. You didn't just start posting positive interactions with police officers. You posted the minority of how police behave daily, which means you posted propaganda. Daily, cops abuse people, cheat people, ruin people, and you decided to cherry pick the very few interactions that cops actually treat people humanely. But then I also said on here, just so I'm not sitting here scrolling through comments, I'll tell you exactly what I said. Thank you, Seldwin, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. So what I also said on here was that you didn't just Freedom of Information Act body camera footage. You worked in conjunction with other cops who then would call you or text you or email you and say, get the incident number for this particular police body camera footage. That's what you did. In other words, that's propaganda. What this cop did is he worked in conjunction. I'm alleging that he worked in conjunction with a bunch of other cops, both state and nationally, where they would send him an email and say, hey, here's the incident number, get this body camera footage that would either show the cops acting heroically or doing something nice, which means you're cherry picking and creating propaganda. This is what Midwest Safety is doing as well. And then they'll put little comments in there to kind of nudge you toward the idea that cops are good and cops are our friends and they're only helping the community. Or they'll show people in their worst position where they got the incident number from other cops. He's going to slip and accidentally almost say we in a minute. Just wait. Hold on a second. The whole thing is just gold.
So I started the YouTube channel. I started the YouTube channel and I started requesting incidents that I knew the city didn't want people to see. Incidents with People suffering from mental illness being treated with dignity and respect by police officers, uh, officers interacting with drug addicts on the street and treating them as human beings,
Oh, you mean you cherry picked certain ones where they treated people like human beings? Because for the most part, they treat us like shit.
taking a pregnant woman out for a meal on the way to rehab.
Did he have to handcuff her first? Because we saw the video the other day where for you to get in the cop car, you got to be in handcuffs. Did he handcuff her as she was pregnant?
That was a video of mine that, and that incident actually happened almost 2 years before I started the YouTube channel.
Right. And where did you get that incident number? Where did you get the incident number to FOIA that body camera 2 years before your YouTube channel began? You got that incident number from the cop that did it or one of his buddies who emailed you or texted you or called you and said, look up incident number whatever from 2 years ago. Were you just randomly looking through body camera footage from 2 years ago? How did you know to get that incident number where a cop took a pregnant homeless woman out to lunch? How'd you know that? Where'd that come from? That's called propaganda. That's the definition of propaganda.
I did that with no intention of anyone in the world ever finding out about it.
But no, you specifically did that to get the body camera footage to show it on your YouTube channel.
When I started the YouTube channel, I remembered that incident. I searched for it, I found it, and I put it up because that is the type of thing that our police officers are doing on a daily basis. And those are the things that the world needs to see, not this garbage that all cops are bad.
No, and you guys can't see my comments because they're somehow in the ecosystem of the comment. Maybe YouTube deleted them. ACAB does not stand for all cops are bad. ACAB stands for all cops are bastards. And the reason is because you turned off your morality from the book Atlas Shrugged, which is my favorite book. It says Ayn Rand, the author of the book, a woman who I highly respect, she said that morality is your ability to think. You cannot be a moral person without thinking. This cop and every one of his brethren decided to turn off morality and inherit policies, procedures, and protocols that they didn't vote on, they didn't approve, and they just took them to get the money from being a parasite on our culture. When you turned off your morality, your ability to think, that's when you lost yourself, brother. Right there. When you turned off your ability to think that, I'll bet we could come up with a better way than to handcuff people behind their back. But he never did that. He never considered that. He never went through that process.
That's the kind of stuff that the city and the mayor were pushing. He was pushing that false narrative because he wanted to take control of the police department. He even said at one point in time to the FOP, you can either, or to the officers of the Fraternal Order of Police, you can either support the FOP, but you're against the citizens of Columbus.
And why is that? Because the Fraternal Order of Police is against the citizens and for the police.
That's what he said. You can't possibly be more divisive than that. So I started posting these positive interactions with police officers, and you might be surprised to find out that the city of Columbus was not very happy with the fact that I was doing that.
Of course not, because let me explain to you exactly what he did that I'm going to allege as a journalist and someone who's covered police for decades. Okay, so let me explain it to you. Do you see where it says Columbus Police Body Camera? He's had the channel for almost 5 years, he said. So what he did was he worked in conjunction with other cops in the city, in the state, nationally, and he had them do acts of kindness for people. And then those cops would send him the incident number and say, hey, dude, air this. I went and got this homeless guy some shoes. Request the incident number, get the body camera footage, and then air that. That's called a propagandist. And that's what you did. I'm going to say, I allege that that's what Columbus Police Body Camera did. You cherry picked it. If you're a copper and you know that there's a cop who works as a YouTuber part-time as he's a cop, and you say to yourself, we need to really have some good press, what are you going to do? You're going to go and help somebody out. And then you're going to send this cop the incident number Do you and I know about it? Does Brian from Here's the Deal know about it? Does James Freeman know about it? Does Lane Myers know about it? No. We don't get that incident number. You do. And then that one good thing that the cops do in Columbus that day, they magnify it and say, look, this is how the Columbus police treat people in our community. It is such a lie. That's called a propagandist, and that's what you are, brother.
Then fast forward a couple of years, and I'll go ahead and put the thumbnail up on the screen now. This is the video that really got the attention of the politicians in the city of Columbus. This is the video where I demonstrated that the Department of Inspector General, the Inspector General herself, and the Civilian Review Board have an incredible anti-police bias to the extent that they're willing to lie about police officers on official reports in order.
There it is again. I'm sorry for interrupting so much, but listen to what this guy says.
The extent that they're willing to lie about police officers on official reports.
Well, isn't that what you guys do? Don't I mean? Isn't that what the Mullen Commission says? Isn't it what it says? Isn't that exactly what the Mullen Commission says? Is that you guys lie on reports, that you will make up and completely fabricate reports to protect the other cops? That's what you said. That's what it says in the Mullen Commission. Is that 3-year study done by Milton Mullen, a federal judge? I mean, put a 1 in the chat if the federal judges are on the side of the cops. Put a 1 in the chat if the federal judges and the Supreme Court judges are on the side of the cops. But yet Milton Mullen in 1994 released a report that cops lie on their official reports. And if the city council has turned against you, why do you think that is?
In order to charge them with bias-based profiling. If you remember the video, it's one where an investigator with the Office of Inspector General wrote an official report, and he said that a young man was black rather than white because he wanted that narrative to be able to push out there to say that police officers are stopping black teens for nothing more than wearing a hoodie while walking to the store, when the reality of that situation was that the teenager was never stopped and he was white and the officer had good reason to try to talk to this kid.
Oh, I'm so sorry. He had good
when
reason.
I made that video,
okay. So listen to it again. Remember, I'm here to dissect the propaganda for you.
Stopped, or when the reality of that situation was that the teenager was never stopped and he was white and the officer had good reason to try to talk to this kid.
He had good reason? You mean it was a Terry stop? Is that what you mean? And he had good reason? I don't want to talk to the cops. Most of us don't. So there's not a good reason to stop me unless there's probable cause that I've committed a crime.
When I made that video, I 100% became a target of the city of Columbus. I even have a clip from the office, or from the Inspector General herself. It was on April the 2nd, 2024. She actually announced publicly that they're looking for a way to shut down my social media.
Thank you for that. And so you had mentioned that there's been kind of statements on social media and others about individual investigators. Maybe you don't have to elaborate too much on that, but could you maybe explain in the sense of, I don't know, in terms of whether the city, how you handle that as your office aside, there's this approach. Is there other efforts being made in terms of just getting clarity over the office and what's happening in terms of maybe statements that are made on social media?
The thing that I can tell you is that anything that's made on social media, we are aware of it and we do monitor it. But unless the comments or things that are made on social media is something that affects a policy or procedure, at this point, it's nothing that we can do about it. But we are aware, we are monitoring it. And then if there becomes something that we're able to do, we will make sure that we can do something. We have actually also talked with the attorney's office to see if there's some other avenues in which we can pursue. But at this point in time, we feel the best way to pursue that is to remove the investigator's name from the report to kind of provide that layer of protection of their name and face being brought out there.
So there you have it, from the face of the Inspector General herself with a smile on her face. She said, we've actually contacted the city attorney's office to see if there's another way to shut this stuff down. What she was talking about is shutting down my ability to make comments that are critical about her and other public officials.
This is the only place that I agree with him where he has every right to make comments about public officials. But this is from the Mullen Commission. This is page 53. You can get the Mullen Commission on my website, Delete Laws. It's free. You can get it, the Mullen Commission, page 53 here about police. The pervasiveness of the code of silence itself, but what we found particularly troubling is that often appears to be the strongest where corruption is the most frequent. This is because of the loyalty ethic is particularly powerful in crime-ridden precincts where cops depend on each other for their safety each day, and where fear and alienation from the community are most rampant. Thus, the code of silence influences honest officers in the very precincts where the assistance is needed the most. Question: were you ever afraid one of your fellow officers might turn you in? Never. Why not? Answer: because it's the blue wall of silence. Cops don't tell on cops. And if they did tell on them, just say if a cop decided to tell on me, his career is ruined. He's going to be labeled as a rat. So if he's got 15 more years on the job, he's going to be miserable because it follows you wherever you go. And he could be in a precinct where he's going to be where there's going to be nobody there to work with him. The blue wall of silence, it's in the Mullen Commission. This is available on deletelaws.com for free. The Mullen Commission right there by Milton Mullen, who was a federal judge. I'm pretty sure that he's retired by now.
The reason that they are trying to find a way to shut me down is because just prior to this, the city of Columbus had enacted this policy. I'll put it on the screen now. It was known as the External Communications Policy. And this policy 100% was put into place in order to scare police officers and firefighters from speaking publicly about things that they have seen with their own eyes. This was a policy that said a police officer or a firefighter could face discipline if he said anything negative about a city elected official, whether that comment be in a personal text message, email, or on social media. They enacted that policy knowing full well it's a violation of the First Amendment.
No, I'm so sorry. I hope the internet's working okay. We get a little choppy sometimes. Give me a 5x5. You guys can hear me and you can see me. But so let me explain it to you, Mr. Copper. What you're doing is you're engaging in propaganda activities because you are getting the body camera footage from cops who may do a set up scenario so that it makes the cops look good. You are a propagandist. Don't tell me that you knew which body camera footage to get from the Freedom of Information Act just because you knew about it. You got that body camera footage information from other cops. Propaganda. Here's a good sliver of it. Let me tell you something. The Nazis were really efficient. If we just focused on how efficient the Nazis were, man, it'd be a great story. They were really efficient at what? About sending Jews to the gas chamber, about sending Jews to the showers where they were burnt alive. That's what the Nazis were efficient at doing. So you can say how efficient the policing is, but it's propaganda. Big Mike Audits is here, everybody. Get over there and subscribe to his channel. He's an activist.
They got frustrated when they realized that that policy is not enforceable, so they started looking for another reason to shut me down. Now, I've been doing this, like I said before, for about 5 years, and I've been very careful to make sure that I follow all the rules, regulations, and laws. Unfortunately, recently, I made a mistake and I violated a policy. The policy that I violated is not something that we fire officers for. I'll go into much more detail on that in a separate video, but it's an administrative policy. I don't want to get too deep into the weeds on it, but I will say that I recently had a hearing with the chief regarding my violation of policy where I got to explain to her exactly what happened and how I did it and how everything came about. And prior to going to that hearing, I was served with some paperwork. The paperwork that I was served with had a bunch of comparable disciplines, people who have done similar things before and what their discipline was. And the lieutenant that handed me the paperwork even pointed out, he said, "Oh, look, they did not put cause for termination on here. So that's a good thing. You're looking at a suspension, and then we'll get you back to work as soon as possible." I went to that hearing, and then 3 weeks later, I was terminated. I was told that what I did is not something that we terminate officers for, but the chief took it upon herself to recommend termination.
Why is there a female in charge of men in a job that requires physicality?
The reason they're terminating me is because they're angry about all of the things that I've said publicly. This is 100% a case of First Amendment retaliation.
No, it's not. It's
Like I
not.
said before,
It's a retaliation against propaganda because that's what you are doing. You are spreading propaganda. You're not spreading information and news. You're not spreading the actual facts of what the cops in Columbus do. You're spreading propaganda. Let me ask you guys a question, and so for my editors, you can clip this, but let me ask you a question. Do you think it's too far fetched that this cop received incident numbers from other cops to FOIA that body camera footage? Is it too far fetched that police would do random acts of kindness, so that they could then send the incident report number over to Columbus body camera footage? You think that's a possibility? Is it even a thought that maybe if you know a cop in Columbus has a YouTube channel, that you might do something really nice for another person and then send the incident number of your body camera to the cop who runs a YouTube channel? I think that's a possibility. Midwest Safety. Midwest Safety gets all the videos before you and I do. We don't even know which body camera to FOIA, but the cops call Midwest Safety, like they call this copper, and say, "Get this incident number. This is going to make us look really good." It's not too far fetched to believe, is it?
or I am 100% positive because of this, I will be getting my job back. That
Oh, yeah.
process takes 9 to 12 months.
So I need money.
Once that process concludes, I am going to very, very strongly pursue a federal civil rights lawsuit against the city of Columbus for violating my civil rights. In the meantime, as I always also said before, I need some help financially. I need some help providing to pay for my mortgage and help put food on the table for my wife and kids.
If he had, so there's a couple of things here. Okay, there's a couple of things here. So number one, he's going to make more money being a YouTuber than he would as a cop. He'll make more money. There's 50% of this country drops down and licks boots. They got that cop stick all the way down their throat and they are sucking it. And that's I would say at least 50% of our country are cop suckers. So he's going to make plenty of money from his YouTube channel. That's a fact. So for every 100,000 views, that's $1,000. For every million views, that's $10,000. It's 10 grand. And he has several videos with several 100,000. So he's going to be making $20,000, $30,000 a month. The number one video on my page has 700,000 views. The most views I've ever got on a full length video is 700,000. And that was shot 3 or 4 years ago. So this copper who's worried about his money is going to be just fine. He's going to make more money and he won't want to go back to being a cop, because now all the cops around the country are going to send him incident numbers and say, "Hey, air this body camera footage."
Hopefully, this channel is going to be the way that I can do that with your support. I created this channel, and we as a community have done an amazing job showing that the officers of the Columbus Division of Police are amazing people and showing the city of Columbus that their efforts to tarnish the reputation of these officers has failed.
Dude, let me explain something to you, Copper. It's not people who have tarnished the reputation of cops. It's cops who have tarnished the reputation of cops.
We need to prove to them once again that they once again have failed. And that failure is going to be their attempt to make this as difficult as possible on me. That's where you come in. I've created a couple of opportunities for you to support me so that we can make this as easy of a transition as possible. And with your support, I don't know, I would be eternally grateful. So the things that I've done, the two things that you can do to help support me as I go throughout this process. The first thing is I went ahead and created channel memberships and tiers for channel memberships. This is a thing where if you agree to become a member of the channel, I get 70% of those funds. YouTube takes 30% of those funds.
That's not how it
But
works.
in return,
He doesn't even know what he's talking about.
you get some perks from the channel. The first perk on the lowest tier of channel membership is that you get a loyalty badge on your name,
Get a
and you're
loyalty
more
badge.
likely for me to reply to your comments. I might even start a thing where I only reply to member comments. You know, that
I wish my comments would show up here. So here's the comments I was making before. I was like, I have got to just show the people this. I'm going to cover your video. You're so deluded, it's unbelievable. You're calling the system tyrannical, and you are the system. You've been a part of the system for over a decade. You are the tyranny, the darkness, the fear in the night. Americans, if they're not licking boots, the only thing they're looking out for when they travel are cops. You're completely delusional. Dude, you don't have to sit there and say you're going to reply to people's comments for them to be members. There's so many boot-licking copsuckers in our country. You're not going to be able to reply to all the comments licking boots. You're making promises you can't keep because you feel like you're desperate. You're going to make more money from YouTube than you ever did working as a cop. And then you can see the super chat money for this guy's rolling in, sitting here rolling in. Look at all the super chat money. Just, I mean, almost every other comment is a super chat. So 1505, let me go back to 1505 because that's, let me go back to 1505 because I missed it. So right here, remember what I said, I believe firmly that he's getting body camera incident numbers from other cops. And listen to this.
your support. I created
Listen again.
the way that I can do that with your support. I created this channel. And
You mean you created it so that you could make the cops look good after the cops were exposed with George Floyd and the millions and millions of people who have been abused, cheated, and imprisoned by cops came out of the woodworks and started marching in protest against the cops. And so we created the YouTube channel so that we could cherry pick videos and create propaganda about how cops are good.
And we as a community have
He's so outed. He's so outed. Gio said it. Oh my God, you poor piece of work. You poor piece of work. What is going on? It's just such crap. He's such a liar. He knows why he created this video. It's propaganda. See if I can find another one. I mean, but look at the money rolling in for this guy. Look at the money. So you get down here and there's less money chats, all the money, but there's 50, 10. I'll bet he made at least $10,000 today. The publican. So here's where I said right here, gosh dang it. And it lost my comment now. $200. Wow. I've been watching you since the beginning and I'm shocked. This channel has brought me so much joy. Really. Police officers should be terminated for off-duty legal speech. This aggression will not stand. It's just the bootlicking, cop sucking on this channel is unparalleled to very many. Midwest Safety is the only one that gets more cop sucking than this. 75. I mean, look at that. You can just go down the list. This guy's making. Look at the money. Look at the money. Look at the money rolling in because he lost his job for being a propagandist. Look at that. Look at that. It truly unbelievable. It truly is unbelievable. Country full of bootlickers.
done an amazing job showing that the officers of the Columbus Division of Police are amazing people and showing the city of Columbus that their efforts to tarnish the reputation of these officers has failed.
Oh, has it?
We need to
Put a 1 in the chat if you completely don't trust cops at all whatsoever.
prove to them once again that they once again have failed. And that failure is going to be their attempt to make this as difficult as possible on me. That's where you come in. I've created a couple of opportunities for you to support me so that we can make this as easy of a transition as possible.
He's been a parasite for 15 years. Is that how long he's been a cop? He's been a parasite on the community. He's a succubus.
And with your support, I don't know, I would be eternally grateful. So the things that I've done, the 2 things that you can do to help support me as I go throughout this process, the first thing is I went ahead and created channel memberships and tiers for channel memberships. This is a thing where if you agree to become a member of the channel, I get 70% of those funds. YouTube takes 30% of those funds.
Not how it works either.
But in return, you get some perks from the channel. The first perk on the lowest tier of channel membership is that you get a loyalty badge on your name, and you're more likely for me to reply to your comments. I might even start a thing where I only reply to member comments. You know, that would be a benefit of you because that have hundreds, if not thousands, of comments. The next tier is going to be for $10. Some members only live streams. These are going to be live streams that if you're not a member at that level, you won't be able to participate in, which also should mean it's a smaller group of people, a little bit more quaint, and we can have some actual conversations on the live streams where I might go over police incidents, just answer your general questions, just hang out and talk, have a little bit of bourbon. That should be a good time and a good benefit to the members of the channel. The third tier is going to be at the and you'll see the names on the screen. It's police recruit, field training officer, and then commander. If you join at the commander level, you'll actually have access to all of my content, and you'll have access to the videos before anybody else does. I'll probably put it so that members or at this level get to see the video a day or 2 before everybody else. Maybe even as soon as I upload them and schedule them for release, you'll be able to see them. So those would be the benefits of becoming a member of this channel and helping to support me financially. If you would like to support me financially, but
if I sat here and as I'm building this board game, Constitution Headquarters, I'm not going live. As you can see, when I go live, people will super chat me and say, thanks, Chili. And, you know, I sit here and I make some money. That's how I make money, right? But I haven't been going live. I'm working on this board game. If I sat there and said to you guys, hey, you know, if you want to financially support me, you need to support me financially so I can put food on the table for my wife and kids, the trolls would have a field day. The whole comment section would be about, here's Chili begging for money, here's Chili. But this cop can sit up there and literally beg that people give him money right now because he lost his job being a parasite. And it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly okay. Lord forbid that I ask for a dime of money as YouTube demonetizes all of my videos. But his videos are these cherry-picked propaganda, a cop giving a kid a kite, and then they give him the incident number. And so all of his videos are how good the cops are. And then when he loses his job for being a propagandist, he sits there and e-begs. But I don't read any comments from trolls saying, look at you begging for money. I don't see that. Where are those comments? I don't see that. Welfare recipient now begging for money. I don't see the trolls on his channel. Is he not begging for money? I think he is. I think that he is. You can see the tears in his eyes because he lost his job being a parasite.
Are not interested in becoming a member of the channel on YouTube because you don't want 30% of your money to go to YouTube and you don't spend a lot of time here for those things. I'm also going to put a link in the description of this video to my personal PayPal account. You can go to my personal PayPal account and donate any amount of money that you would like. One thing that I am going to ask is that I don't know, pick a small dollar amount, maybe $10, and have it renew every month. That way I can have some sort of predictability of my income, because over the next couple of months is when we're really going to find out whether or not this is going to be successful. You know, I've done all of this for the last 5 years, and you guys have supported me and you've cheered me on and told me to keep going, never stop speaking the truth, never stop speaking truth to power, and challenging the authority that I believe is tyrannical in my local government. The reason I've been doing this is because this is important to me. It's important to the citizens of Columbus. It's important to the overall safety of my community. I'm willing to put myself out there on the line in order to accomplish this goal. But now,
Put yourself on the line. You put yourself on the line. I was put in jail for 4 months for filming a cop. Hey, there's my Venmo, my PayPal, and my Cash App. What I'm asking you to do is go donate, maybe a small amount, maybe $10 or $20, and put that on a monthly recurring. If you would please, everybody, right now, go to my Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal and donate $10 to $20 every month so it's recurring for me. And what's going to happen? Now that I said that, all the trolls are going to come in here and say, look at Chili e-begging for money. But he can say it. And he put himself on the line. Last I checked, he's not the one facing down a guy with a gun with a camera in his hand. He's not the one who's been arrested. He's not the one that's been strip searched. He's not the one that spent 4 months in a fucking dungeon for doing nothing. You're putting yourself on the line, you piece of shit pig. You're not putting yourself on the line. You're making YouTube videos from cherry pick incident reports that cops send to you so they look good. You scumbag. Absolute, total, and complete scumbag. Do you know how many people every day I'm on the phone with that I help? You have any idea? You can't even imagine it. I can't get this freaking game done because there's so many people that say, hey, Chili, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? Can you help me with this? And I have to do it. There's no way I can't because I know the process. And it only takes me a few minutes of my time, but multiply that out by 10. A few minutes of your time times 10 ends up being 3 hours a day that I'm on this phone every day, all day. And he's saying he's putting himself on the line. In which way? In which way are you putting yourself on the line? In which way? In which way are you putting yourself on the line? You guys haven't even heard Alice's story. You haven't even heard her story. Alice has a story. Alice has a federal civil rights lawsuit. She put herself on the line. You're not putting yourself on the line because you're sitting behind a microphone, dog. And when the things that I've put together are done, I'll be back on the street taking on cops. So this guy is a total scumbag. He's a scumbag. There's no other way to put it. He's a total and complete scumbag. Brian, I'd love to help you, man. Shoot me a DM on Facebook or send me an email. I'll help you the best that I can. I really will. I'll do everything I can to help you. I'll do anything I can. Thanks a lot. What's the matter, you? And thank you, Joseph Barbini. Joseph Barbini for the memberships. I really appreciate it. There it is, man. It's just so unbelievable, this guy and what he's saying. He put himself on the line. In which way?
oh, I need your help.
Yeah.
I need a little bit of financial support from you to be able to continue this process so that all of the things that I've done for everybody else don't now come back and have a negative effect on my wife and my children.
Wait a minute. What everything else have you? Hold on a second. Hold on a minute. What has this guy done for everybody else? What has he done for you took a job where you make over $100,000 a year and you call it service. You torture cuff people. You take people to dungeons. You've done so much to help everybody else. In which way? In which way? When cops say I signed up to help people, and then I say, okay, well, who have you helped the most? It's crickets. There's no answer. There's absolutely no answer. So what are you talking about? I'm so confused. What have you done to help everybody else? Let's listen to it again just so that it can really just burn in my soul.
Don't accomplish this goal. I'm willing to put myself out there on the line
in order
to accomplish this goal. But now I need your help. I need a little bit of financial support from you to be able to continue this process so that all of the things that I've done for everybody else don't now come back and have a negative effect on my wife and my children. That's my biggest fear in this whole thing.
Is for your wife and your children. Listen to him. His biggest fear is for his family, his wife, and his kids. You can see it. He's about himself.
I think that's going to be it for this video. I sincerely appreciate all of your time. I appreciate your support in this matter. I'll be back soon with another video. Thank you.
Okay. Federal lawsuit claims Columbus police have pattern of using excessive force on black residents.
A federal lawsuit has been filed claiming that Columbus police used excessive force when they arrested Timothy Davis September 1st. Thank you for joining us on NBC4 Midday. I'm Ellie Merritt. Cell phone video of that arrest shows officers kicking and punching Davis inside an East Side market. Let's get to NBC4's Ted Hardy's live at the Watch for Alert desk right now. And Ted, this lawsuit is not just about Davis.
No, the lawsuit also accuses the police department of continuing a pattern of excessive force against civilians and in particular black residents. Timothy,
hold on a minute. I'm just wondering, is NBC4 Columbus against the police too? Last I checked, the mainstream media was a bunch of bootlickers.
Davis was wanted on a warrant for previous incidents with Columbus police officers, incidents of resisting arrest and assault on officers. When members of the police gang unit tried to arrest him on September 1st, they say Davis resisted. Again, the department's use of force allows police officers to respond to a physically combative suspect with punches and kicks. That's the department policy. The lawsuit, though, says that the policy, or that the police, rather, response was unjustified and is part of a pattern of subjecting civilians to excessive force. The lawsuit also accuses officers on the scene of conspiring to protect the practice, saying that officers positioned their bodies to screen fellow officers' excessive use of force against Timothy Davis from witnesses, attempting to give their fellow officers conspiratorial anonymity. Now, the police department issued a statement a few minutes ago saying that our officers are sworn to protect and serve, not to protect and serve those of a particular race, ethnic background, or socioeconomic status. In the newsroom, Ted Hart, NBC4.
So then it must be that
On Tuesday, Norfolk police body camera video will. A federal lawsuit has been filed.
Columbus police release video of 2012 use of force incident. Lawsuit, Columbus police use excessive force against blacks. Columbus Coalition calls for federal investigation of Columbus Police Department. Body camera videos capture showdown of Muskogee County jails between sheriffs and it's constant. It's never ending. Well, let's check out another strip here. If we go over here to ACAB, what do you see? He proceeded to send me paragraphs I ignored about how he's such a good cop. Ben Shapiro petition for the complete pardon of convicted murderer Derek Chauvin doesn't allow you to opt out of spam and data harvesting if you decide to sign it. There it is right there. Now they got the Confederate flag flying and they have the Betsy Ross flag, which is when black people were slaves. I'm not allowed to cover this. Did you know that? Do you see that right there? Do you see that right there? I'm not allowed to cover that. YouTube demonetized my videos. They demonetized my live stream and they demonetized the video where I covered the cop who overdosed. They demonetized it. I wrote to them and I said, "Hey, why'd you do that? Thanks, Stomper, for the memberships." I wrote to them and said, "Hey, why'd you do this?" And they said, "Oh, there's nothing we can do about it. Another department did it." Indicted Walker County deputies alleged stomped on Tony Mitchell's genitals while he was handcuffed. I would say, and look at this. This is 3 hours ago. This is, let's see if there's a video of it. Is there a video of this? I don't see one. I don't see a video of it. And there's the same overdose from the cop. 30 Los Angeles County probation officers indicted over a staged juvenile hall gladiator fights. So is that people making you look bad, or is that cops making themselves look bad? And this video has gone viral. I found it the very first day it came out, the very first day. Cop goes into the restroom to smoke and he overdoses. And look, all these videos are today. He takes a weak shot, and just so you guys know, if you've ever wrestled or fought, when someone shoots on you, you sprawl. He takes a shot, not bad. This leg has to come up to next to his foot, and you got to turn and pivot. Oh, he almost got it, but that guy's sprawl was too good. Gets him in a guillotine. Then he gets whacked. He's getting his ass handed to him. Now they taser him. Of course, he picked the fight and then he couldn't finish it. Of course, it's so normal. So this is just a regular
They broke his
stream.
car window. They dragged him out of his vehicle. After they arrested him, they took him into an alley and they beat him, and he had to be rushed to the hospital. ICE took him to El Camino Hospital, where the hospital was very much aggressive against Rapid Response Network volunteers who were there to document, to observe, to witness what was happening. And the hospital sent staff out to threaten them, to take their cameras, to kick them off their property. Not acting as a healthcare provider should act, especially one like El Camino, that is a private hospital that doesn't have to worry about federal funds, should behave this way towards our community is unacceptable. They violated his constitutional rights. They abused their power. And so I'm here as part of this larger community to say, we don't want you here. You cannot be here, and you cannot be attacking our community members. They broke his car window.
They broke his car window out. Have you ever had to report your police partner? What was it for? And this one right here is, oh, there's no comments. There's no comments. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that. 4 Detroit police officers, firearms confiscated under Michigan red flag laws. 4 cops, their firearms are confiscated because they have domestic violence in their past. We saw this one with the old man. Oh, remember this guy? This guy is Maxim. So just for the cop, if he ever sees this video, which I don't know if he will, Alice, we want to cover your federal civil rights lawsuit. I want to cover that federal civil rights lawsuit. I just wanted you guys to see what exactly these cops are saying and doing. It is such a load of shit on a stick. All federal funding will stop for any college, school, university that allows illegal protests. So what's an illegal protest? Who decides what protest is illegal? Trump is absolutely destroying our Constitution. He is. I mean, I do like Doge. I like finding waste, fraud, and abuse. I like that. But when you say there's illegal protests, and then he goes on to say, agitators will be imprisoned. You're going to be imprisoned if you protest. It's an illegal protest, so you'll be imprisoned. I don't know how anybody supports this, because you may be all for the dumpster fire now until it's your turn to protest. And then that's an illegal protest. Now you're going to be imprisoned for protesting. Think about that. You're going to be put in a cage for protesting. It's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. It is just so unbelievable. We're just living. What does that say? And then the other thing is, I was raised in Alaska. I've driven through Canada 100 times. I'm exaggerating. I've driven through Canada that I could think of off the top of my head. At least 20 times I've been in Canada from Alaska, where we drive from Washington State through Canada into Alaska. I have absolutely no problem with Canadians, and I don't want to take over Canada. I don't want Canada to be the 51st state. I don't want that. And I'm an American, and I love this country. I don't want it. I don't
Could
want
be
it.
ground zero for the impact on the tariffs, Maria. This Dodge Ram truck, $80,000.
Let's check out another stream here. Alabama lawmakers advance bill that will make it harder to sue police for excessive force. Police tase and beat black man after his hands were up. So to the copper who I covered your video, you don't seem to understand. the policies, procedures, and protocols that you agreed to do to other people is the reason why people hate cops. It's the reason why ACAB exists. Anybody who agrees to those policies, procedures, and protocols is a bad person. You can't agree to chain people up and then say, oh yeah, we're good. We're doing a service. Everybody welcome Just Willie. Everybody welcome Just Willie. Walker County deputy indicted for using excessive force and lying to the grand jury. 30 guards charged and accused of staging gladiator fights. Married Homestead cop sues for wooing case. I mean, it's just all over the place. It's just all over the place. Arraigned for excessive force and taser incident. Oh yeah, did you guys see this? Jeff Gray was arrested and charged with a felony. I don't know if this is recent or how long ago he was charged with a felony.
Back in 2020, Douglas County Sheriff's Lieutenant Tommy Barella soaked up the spotlight for getting what every cop dreams of.
I reread him his rights.
A confession.
And we began taping the interview and asking him questions.
A confession in a 40-year-old cold case. Now Barella's out of work after retiring in January with mixed emotions. There was no mention in his letter of the internal and criminal investigations into him having dated a female deputy in the department. A situation described this way: personal and romantic relationships that evolved into workplace misconduct. In January, an internal investigation found he violated 6 separate department policies, including harassment issues in the workplace. Sheriff's administrators disciplined Barella 3 times before that, according to records obtained by 9 News Investigates. In 2018, for relationships with subordinates and off-duty alcohol consumption. 2019, for workplace violence and harassment and relationships with subordinates. 2021, for misuse of the national and state crime databases. None of that slowed down his career, but a 3-year-old state law made his decision to retire in lieu of being fired last month public. It's now on the Peace Officers Standards and Training database.
That's absolutely something that should be reported to the post board without fail 100% of the time.
State Representative Chad Clifford is backing legislation aimed at getting more problem officers added to the database.
We have had issues in the state before where an officer could be a bad actor in one department and then shop and find some other place and get hired, and that might not have followed them, and gone are those days in Colorado.
Despite being disciplined 3 times between 2018 and 2021, Douglas County Sheriff Darren Weekly promoted Barella to captain last September. While he was found to have violated multiple department policies, the criminal investigation did not result in any charges. We were unable today to reach Barella for comment. Live in the newsroom, Kevin Vaughn, 9 News.
And so since he retired, this the end of it?
Honor your oath, civil rights investigations.
God bless freedom of speech.
Let's take a look and see did the video come out of him being arrested? I'm not sure.
The St. Johns County Sheriff's Office is deciding if disciplinary actions will be used against one of their deputies. And this comes after that employee posted a comment underneath a video on social media calling for open season on the homeless. News4Jax reporter Cleo Maycock is looking into the comments and the fallout.
Last week, I received an email from a viewer saying they believe a now retired St. Johns County cop was posting things on social media saying they wanted to harm the houseless. But it turns out that man is not retired. He's an employee with the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office. And the process to find that out began with that viewer sending me the screenshot. A screenshot from a person named Gregory Todd 72 saying, "We need like a 3-day open season on the homeless. No bag limit." Now let's break down that comment. According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, open season is the period when it's legal to kill or catch game or fish protected at times by law. The same website defines the bag limit as the maximum number of fish or game permitted by law to be taken by one person in a given period. Now let's go back to that comment. This is a screen recording I took last Wednesday showing it. When you click on the profile, it shows this picture. Remember it. The bio says LEO, which stands for law enforcement officer. When you look up Gregory Todd on another social media site, that same profile picture pops up. Now, I won't show you the rest of that page, but that page includes a post with a picture talking about Gregory Todd's time at the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office and his years of service. Now, in this post by the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office, it includes a picture that looks like the same one as the one Gregory Todd posted. But this one talks about Corporal Gregory Succi, and it was posted in 2020. All of that information, plus more of what the viewer sent to me, was sent to the sheriff's office. They confirmed the post was from Corporal Succi, who's actively employed there. They also sent a statement saying, in part, a supervisor has reviewed the complaint, met with the deputy involved, and determined the comment was made from his personal account while off duty. We are evaluating if disciplinary action is appropriate while balancing the involved deputy's First Amendment rights with his status as a law enforcement officer. As a news station, we take the First Amendment seriously. So I spoke with a First Amendment lawyer about how the sheriff will decide if disciplinary action will be taken.
The question is, did this post impair the operations of the sheriff's department, or did it impair public perception of the sheriff's office?
Burke also says the sheriff will have to take into account how Corporal Succi interacted with the public or homeless people.
So does anybody have that Jeff Gray video of him getting a felony? I'd like to see that video. I haven't had time to really look up anything. Typically, I'll line up a bunch of videos to share with you guys and have a perspective on them before we start. But I haven't seen that Jeff Gray video, and he was charged with a felony. Thanks, Greg, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Jack, Boot, Thug, Pigs, JBTP, put it in the comment section. The Vigilance Committee is here. Jungle is massive. What is going on? Greg B, I haven't seen your name yet. I think did I see you earlier, Greg? Kinetic Customs and Racing. Jody is here. Thanks for coming. Top Rock. There you are, Greg B. That was your comment. I just said I didn't see your comment. What a dunce cap I am. Being homeless should not be a crime. I think we should be able to clean up the homelessness in our community by creating small housing outside of town. They should have a key. It's just so unbelievable. It's just so unbelievable. Thanks, Joseph Barbini. I appreciate it. Anyway, listen, I want to finish the board game today. Today will be the final pieces I'm creating. There's 235 Supreme Court circuit and district cases in the board game, 235 different cases. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you guys. It's on James Madison audits? Let me see.
Hey, I was going to ask you about Jeff Gray and why you shoved him in the car.
We'll see you later.
Yeah, we will.
Welcome back. The Flagler Beach Police Department decided to stuff Honor Your Oath into this jail right here. Why? Because he was outside exercising his First Amendment right in front of the Funky Pelican on a public sidewalk. And I spoke to the manager, and he says that he doesn't believe that their property extends past one, the chalkboard, and at best, past the overhang that you saw in the video. This is a public pier owned by the city of Flagler, and they lease this business to them. The lighter gray that you see here is not the sidewalk. The sidewalk extends all the way from the left up to that overhang. So we had to go bail Jeff out. That's how it is. They gave him a $2,500 bond and charged him with a felony. While he was inside, he had to submit to DNA testing, but nonetheless, he was immediately released after $2,600 were paid. I decided to go talk to the management at the Funky Pelican, and this is what he had to say.
Holding signs or something like that?
Absolutely not.
No, they didn't have the guy was arrested out here. Just a little bit.
Who are you?
JMA Media. I run a channel called JMA Media. So.
JMA Media?
Yep.
Okay.
So I didn't know if anybody had any called here or something like that. We're just trying to find out what's going on. Because I don't know if it's like the riffraff from Bike Week or something like that that comes in.
No, he's been here before.
Oh, has he?
He stands out there with a sign that says, God bless homeless veterans.
I got you.
On a cardboard sign.
Yeah.
So when he did it a few years ago, I went out and I said, I'm a veteran. What are you talking about? Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
I said, I'm just trying to bring awareness to veterans. I said, holding a cardboard sign that says, God bless homeless veterans.
Yeah.
I said, why don't you work for Wounded Warriors or something like that? Well, I don't want to.
Yeah.
He just
So
comes
he
here
just does that
to
to instigate.
antagonize the police, antagonize. See, because this happens to be a public building, but a private business.
Sure, yeah, you lease it from the city or whatever. Yeah.
So, and he has a YouTube channel.
Oh, does he? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a YouTube channel. He's won a lawsuit in Alpharetta, Georgia. He's just, to me, and he says he's an Army vet. And I'm like, if you're really wanting to help veterans, why not do it in a legitimate way and not stand there with a cardboard sign? Yeah. So yeah,
why not do it in a legitimate way? He's standing up for our First Amendment right to be press in public. He's standing up for our right to be able to say, God bless the homeless veterans. He's standing up for press. He's standing up for speech. He's standing up for assembly. And he's standing up for the Second Amendment because he had a firearm on him, which is his right. He's standing up for our rights in every single way. And this bootlicker can't get that cop stick out of the back of his throat, and his eyes are all watered. So his perception of what he's seeing is skewed. Unbelievable what this guy's saying.
My personal opinion is he's a jerk. And he says he's Army
Jeff Gray is a jerk.
vet. If you say you're a veteran, I believe you.
Air Force, it looks like.
Yes, I am.
Very cool. Thank you for your service.
He's a little younger than me. He's a lot bigger than me. He's a big guy.
I haven't seen him. I was down here and they're like, yeah, they just all the cops swarmed on this one guy down there.
They didn't swarm on him. He was standing there blocking the entrance. So young lady, that's one of our managers, said, hey, could you move a little to the left, a little to the right?
Yeah.
Didn't even say anything about what he was doing. And he's not asking for money, but he's holding a cardboard sign that says, God bless homeless veterans.
Gotcha.
But he wouldn't move. He said, no, I have the right to be here, which technically I get it. But come on, don't be. So, yeah.
So the other part down there, like the back of the pier, that's all public or whatever. It's like a fishing pier. You can go.
Well, the pier is closed because it's dangerous. And then they're going to rebuild it. So over here is closed except for a fire exit from our restaurant out. So other than that, yeah, nobody can go. They got a fence there because it's dangerous. I mean, the whole thing could collapse down there.
That's it. And you're one of the managers, I guess, or owners?
Yeah, I'm one of the managers.
What was your name?
Dennis.
Dennis? Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm just going to go out here and look. And
as soon as, well, what happened was the young lady who was here, she started showing me the video. As soon as I saw it, I said, I know him. And I said, remember like a year and a half, 2 years ago, he did the same thing. What happened was I created a cardboard sign that said, he doesn't work for a restaurant and veterans don't do this. And I stood next to him. And he said, what's your sign say? I said, I don't need to show it to you. It's First Amendment. It's my sign.
Yeah.
So I guess, and he was filming me.
Yeah.
I guess I wasn't going to get him clicks because here's a veteran saying, hey, why are you doing this? Go work for a legitimate organization. So it's all about social media.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I remember now that you said that. I remember his Alpharetta lawsuit. He donated the.
Oh yeah, I get that part, but he's doing it, and he's not doing it. In my personal opinion, he's not doing it for the right reasons. He's doing it to be what he is.
Yeah, and I guess the signs. If you have a professional looking sign, then someone might not look at you and they won't say, haven't seen anything different. But if they do see like a homeless person that looks like they're homeless, everybody turns their nose up.
Oh, he doesn't even look like that because
What is up, Jeff? That was a nice perp walk you did there. Tell me what happened, man.
Well, I was doing my thing, my God Bless Homeless Veteran sign at the Flagler Beach intersection of US 1 and the main intersection down there, or A1A and the main intersection down there at Flagler Beach, standing on a public sidewalk. The Funky Pelican, a restaurant down there, came out and told me that they didn't want me there. That's almost a public sidewalk. There's nothing you can do about it. They called the cops, and the cops came and obliged their wishes and trespassed me and arrested me.
On a public sidewalk.
On a public sidewalk.
But this isn't the first time you've been arrested on a public sidewalk, though, right?
No, I've been arrested on a public sidewalk multiple times.
So this is just nothing new to you. They just cops that don't know their job.
Yeah.
And when you go down there, we see your video. Well, let me get you a little bit back. We see your videos all the time when you go down there. You don't ask for money, or if you do, you do it to the cops directly.
Right. This time I didn't ask for anybody for any money. I was simply just saying, good morning. God bless our homeless veterans.
Yeah.
Please pray for our homeless veterans. And y'all have a blessed day. That's all I was doing.
And I've been down there with you when you do that several times, and people will come up and offer money to you, and you decline it.
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as showcase audits, I see your comment there. There's a, I'll leave it alone. He's not a fan of mine, I can tell you that. So I have to be careful. I don't show more than 80% of this video.
And this time, normally what I do is I'll leave under threat of arrest when they tell me I'm trespassing. But this time I was like, look, man, I'm not trespassing. I'm peacefully assembling on a public sidewalk, a traditional public forum. You can't trespass me from a public property, from a traditional public forum for trespassing when I'm peacefully assembling. Peacefully assembling is not trespassing. and they charged me with a felony this time. This is the first time I've ever been charged with a felony.
Yes.
Felony trespassing because I was lawfully carrying my firearm. So they converted lawful peaceful assembly
To a Second Amendment violation, they're
yeah,
claiming.
and lawful concealed carry of a firearm.
And they seized your protection,
To a
your firearm.
felony.
They seized your firearm, didn't they?
Yeah, they've got my firearm. They've got it seized.
They've got it. So one of the things that I don't understand about this is with all of the attention that is drawn to every single agency, you hear in Florida, me posting on their page about the HALO law, why do they keep doing this to us?
I don't know. And I think, well, for sure, I know the guys in the Flagler County Jail. They know who I am. They told me they know who I am.
They
watched
did.
my videos.
Yeah, and I got them on the phone and I said, what are you guys doing? What you need to get your supervisor on this to make sure this looks valid. Hold this guy.
Yeah, exactly. And but they were cool. They were nice. They were just completely polite and nice. You know, I had to go through the the embarrassment and the degradation of being
stripped down.
You know,
Turn around and cough. They
turn
really
around
do
and
that.
cough.
Yeah.
Naked on camera. You know, for everybody in there to see. As far as I know. And my cheeks were swabbed because it's a felony, so they've taken DNA.
So you have DNA taken.
Yeah, I had DNA taken
Holy hell.
because I was engaged in freedom
Lawful,
of speech,
protected
peaceful assembly
activity.
on a public sidewalk.
Now, if
And they converted that to a felony.
what do we do now? So where are you trespassed from? Are you trespassed from the city of Flagler for the whole entire agency?
They say that I'm trespassed from the city of Flagler boardwalk.
Okay.
I'm not even sure what that is. The public pier and the boardwalk.
Have you been there?
I've been to the pier before, but I mean I wasn't on the pier today. I don't even know if I was even on the boardwalk. I'm standing on a public sidewalk as far as I know.
Yeah.
Even if it was the boardwalk, it's still public property.
Yeah.
Still have a right to do free speech there.
Yeah. Isn't the pier here public?
Yeah, it's a public pier.
City owned.
City owned, or either city or county, one or the other. Right?
City or county owned.
Yeah.
So that's Jeff Gray right there. I have to be really careful how much of this guy's video that I use. He's not a fan of mine. There's a contingency of people who are the way they are. So I just have to be really careful of how much of that video that I use. So I'll just stop it there and say that, it's a good thing that he was able to get out of jail, and Jeff Gray is doing good work. So yeah, I'll leave that all right there. It is what it is. It is what it is. This is a very weird world that we live in. 100%. It's a strange, strange world. It really is. And it's been it's been a very strange ride. So listen, I'm going to finish this board game today. I've got 2.5 hours before I have to be at the gym. I'm finishing the articles and the amendments today, and then the board game is done. And then I submit it in to the guy who does my branding, and he's going to put all the different information on the different cards. And then we should have that board game done in the next few days. And then I have to go down to the print shop, and I have to order like 1,000 or 5,000 of the games, and then I'll start shipping them off. Hopefully before April 1st. I should be done way before then, but the game should be done right now. YouTube terms of service is their own constitutional law. Yeah, they just keep blocking our First Amendment. I know, Alice. I know. I cannot wait to get done. I cannot wait to get done. So listen, I do got to get the flock out of here, you guys. I really appreciate your support. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. I'm not that cop. I'm not a parasite who didn't offer anything. I've given away more of my products than I've ever sold. Just check that box right there. I have given away more trifolds than I have sold trifolds, because you have to have a trifold in your car. You absolutely have got to have a trifold in your car. And I'm going to start making videos again because the board game is finally done. If I get off this live stream, I'll finish the board game today, and then I won't have to sit here and research and figure out trivia questions, and it's so much work, but I'm almost done. And then you guys will have the board game. If you want to check out Constitution Headquarters, I have a YouTube channel called Constitution HQ where these videos will be going. It's right here. It looks like a few more people have joined. Let me share with you the channel so you can see it. And I will start putting all the videos on this YouTube channel right here, because I cannot beat the shadow ban from YouTube. They have this channel so shadow banned. I can barely get a short video to get over 10,000 views. So here's the link to that other channel. If you want to pre-order my board game, you can go to constitutionhq.com, constitutionhq.com. If you want to pre-order the board game, it's right there. And then make sure that you guys have a trifold in your car. If you can't afford a trifold, I will either email you one that you can print out, or I will mail you one out for free, because you have to have a trifold in your car. I've been having an ongoing conversation with another person on YouTube who makes YouTube videos, and I think that I finally have to the point where this person agrees that everybody should be using a trifold in their car. You should absolutely have one. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. I will be watching the Dumpster Fire's speech tonight in 2 hours. His speech is on in an hour and a half. So Brandy Swaney, good to see you. Constitution HQ is where you can pre-order my board game. I appreciate you guys coming. I really do. I appreciate you guys coming. I didn't see Chevy. Where you at, Chevy? I didn't see you. I didn't see Cope Doggy Dog, but those guys are usually a little bit earlier than I went tonight. Love you too, Brandy. Enigma, nice to see you. Enigma's becoming a regular around here. Dan Howard, thanks for coming. I didn't see Dan Hanlon either, but I saw April Rain was also in here tonight. I got to get the flock out of here. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Thanks for the super chat, Stomper. Thanks for the super chat, Greg. Thank you guys for the memberships. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, Gators. Mikey B.